All right, let's go. It's time for the Callisto Protocol review. And before I start, I did technically get 100% in this game, but one collectible I think glitched out. Like you have to listen to them all the time, and I only have that one trophy left. I'm going to go and get it after today or probably tomorrow or next week. But whatever. So that's all the way. Almost got 100%. And I'm using the Digital Foundry review, they're like tech review in the background, so there will be no spoilers. I just picked the video with no spoilers. I do have a video on my own that I actually was going to use, but I had it paused for like half an hour in the middle of it. So I was like, I'm just going to use a video online. I just don't want any like big spoilers. But whatever. So let's get into it. So I'm going to start off with the good things, the bad things first, okay? So the good things is I like the graphics. The graphics are definitely good. Now, obviously, that doesn't sell good, but it's better to have good graphics than bad graphics or good art design. But this has very realistic art design. Now, it is sad how it is. Like I would describe the graphics pretty like sad. Like there's no color and stuff like that. But it fits the setting, right? So it is what like who cares about that? It's a sad game. And I do like the setting. I do like the gore in the game, especially when you like the death animations are very, very good. The death animations are like when you die in this game, when you fail, which you will in the beginning, it's like, oh, what's the animation now? Oh, what's this animation? Oh, how I'm gonna die now? So like I actually like the death animation, which is a big thing in horror games for me. At least like in this type of way, like this type of game horror ways, right? So let's see here. I do like the gore setting and the atmosphere. I do like the prison, like you're basically in a prison or like prison cell or that type of areas. And what my favorite area is actually a winter area when you're outside. That's my favorite like part of the game. So I do like the setting in the game, like cold snow and all that stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about the good things. I do like that this game sets a good foundation what can come in the future, right? So let's break it down, right? So this game has 8 chapters. 8 chapters. 1, 2 are okay. They're like, in beginning, like I didn't think about it. I was like, is this getting good? Is this bad? Then I got to 3, 4, 5. Good chapters. Like I liked them. I was like, oh, this game, maybe like reviewers were bad, like, wrong about this game. People were wrong about this game. But then you get to chapter 6 and 7. And I'm not going to try to spoil anything, but it is really bad. It is like you face the same enemy. I literally think I knifed the same enemy at least 50 times in those 2 chapters, especially one chapter. I can't remember if it was 6 or 7, but it's basically death enemies without spoiling. But they're deaf, right? They can't hear you. No, actually, no. They're the other way around. They're blind and can't hear you, right? So they can't see anything, but they can hear you. So you have to be like quiet and move around. But it doesn't matter. Like the way you kill them is very loud and no one can hear them. In the beginning, they can hear you, but as more as you get on in the level, they can't hear anything. So it's like, what's the point? Like, whatever. That's when the game basically becomes, I don't know, like it's like they change director. And the clunky gameplay. Let's talk about the clunky gameplay. Obviously, enemy variety. It's basically the same 2 dodges, 3 dodges. You hold the stick to the left, hold the stick to the right, hold the stick to the left. They always attack in the same pattern, right? So that is what it is. Like I don't think that's hard at all. I do like this mechanic when you like throw enemies into things. That's very good. I do like the gunplay, especially shotgun. It very feels much like a shotgun in terms of like the impact it does. The melee is hit and miss. I mostly like it, but it is definitely like okay-ish. I just wish there was more in it, But that's like the enemy variety problem. The more you play, especially in chapter 6 when you face literally the same enemy all the time. And the only way to take them down is either stealth. I mean, you can't take them other ways, but stealth, or you shoot the legs off and then just stomp them. That's basically it. Now, the clunky gameplay comes from probably just like the game not wanting to do what you want to do sometimes. So like let's say you have 3 enemies in front of you. Don't try to attack melee them. You're always gonna fail. Either shoot, use the environment. It's like you have to. Because like the game is not built to face 4 enemies with melee at the same time, right? So I think that is a big part of why people just think it's very clunky. Or actually, it is clunky. It is clunky, right? It is clunky. Story-wise, now here's the thing where a lot of people ask me about story. It is as basic of a story as a horror, action, horror, whatever you want to call it, game is. Just okay. go to this place, go to this place. What happens here? It's basically just a journey, excuse to go to places and be like, you know, have horror moments. Basically, that is it. Like, there's nothing special about the story. Now, I want to say, oh, here's God of War. I didn't expect that. But like, the thing about it is, is it worth the money? That's like I asked people on Twitter. I'm gonna pull it up here real quick. I asked people on Twitter what they thought about, you know, the game, right? What they thought about the game. Oops. And what questions they want answered, basically. Let's see here. And the number one question was definitely, is it worth $70 even? Like, it's 70. In some places 60, but it's 70. It does not have a cross-buy like upgrade path, right? So if you have it on PS4 and you expect like God of War, there's no free upgrade, there's no God of War upgrade like for $10. You have to basically rebuy the game. Is it worth it? No, it's not worth the full price. But I will say this, I am happy still that I played it before Dead Space Remake, because I think Dead Space Remake is going to floor this game in terms of everything, right? In terms of absolutely everything. Same thing with Resident Evil 4 Remake, which is weird because I feel like this game needed to be better more than those games, because those games are remakes, like we know what to expect. This game, it's a new IP, like I want it to be good. And going back to all these chapters, on chapter 6 it's first half of the game until chapter 5, until the beginning of chapter 6, the game is an 8 to me. After chapter 6 and 7 are bad, 8 is okay. After chapter 6, it's like a 6. So, in my opinion, it's like the overall game is a 7 out of 10. It has no new game plus. It has no replay value. And if they had a new game plus day 1, or like at least week 1, we can replay the game with upgrades. Which I do think, like, you unlock so many things and you don't have money enough to unlock everything. So if they added a mode where like you can have a new game plus with all the games on the hard difficulty, it would add more replay value. But it doesn't have that. It doesn't have that. No, it's gone. Not there. It's coming in February. So is it worth it? No. But I do think if you want to play this game, get it on sale and play it before Resident Evil 4 Remake, and especially before Dead Space Remake. Because I feel like if you play Dead Space Remake day 1 and you wait for this game, you're gonna be even more disappointed. So like if you ever have plans to play this game, get it on sale and play it before Dead Space Remake, or just play it down the line, a long time down the line. But like I said, the best thing about this game is that it has a good potential for next game. Like I feel like if you take this game, which in my opinion is like a 7 out of 10. No, it is a 7 out of 10 game, right? Which is not like, it's okay. But the problem is that the way the trailers meant it out to be, the way like my hype in my head was, this game was going to be better. In my opinion, like I expected this game to at least make my top 10 of this year, which is one, it doesn't come close, right? It doesn't come anywhere close to my top 10 of this year. But that's what I expected of the game. So let's go over some questions. Now, obviously, that was the first one. If I can recommend the game, no. Here we go. Is it worth buying on any other platforms than PS5? Because the PS5 version is the best version for now, right? I've seen reviews of it a bit, FPS and stuff. It seems that it runs pretty okay on the PS4 versions, PS4 and PS4 Pro. Xbox Series X, it's a little like PS5. It runs 60 and has some dips. On PC, it's horrible. So if you have a PC, don't even think about it right, for now, at least. So console-wise, like I would still say it's worth to buy. Wait for a sale, but if you can play it before Dead Space Remake, do it. Because if you play it after Dead Space Remake, instead of a 7, the game might be a 6 or a 5. Because, like, that's the thing. Like, if you play Dead Space Remake and then you play this game, at least wait a long while, right? Maybe wait for $20 or something for this game. Let's see here for more questions. How's the difficulty? Very weird. So I played on normal half of the game, then I played on hard rest of the game because I was so used to enemies and I thought it was too easy. And when you switch to hard, it's basically just enemies being tougher. No ammo restriction, nothing else, just tougher enemies. So that's like, difficulty levels doesn't even matter that much. But I will say, the last boss is, if you change your difficulty on the last boss to easy, I don't blame you, because that was annoying on normal, very annoying. Because I switched from hard to normal in this last boss because it was just way too annoying. Is the combat as frustrating as people say it to be? The combat is not frustrating. It's just, it's so simple. But I think people are not used to the, again, left stick, right stick, dodge, 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 dodge. That's your dodge. I'm gonna show you. Right. Here's the controller. Here's the controller. Look, here's the controller. Same pattern. Always left, then right, then left, then right. This is always heavy dodge. Always heavy dodge. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Always left, then right, then attack, or just left, attack. That's how you do it all the time. That's how, like, literally how you always dodge in the game. Let's see more questions. Why is the game getting so much hate? PC version. PC version. I mean, a lot of like PC players buy this game digitally, right? So if they play more than 2 hours, they can't refund it. Whereas like if you buy a physical copy on consoles, if you hate the game, you beat it, you can sell it. You can't do that on PC, right? But you can refund within 2 hours on Steam. So again, also I do think because it didn't obviously live up to the hype, which is okay. I think a 7 out of 10 game, like for me, buying a $70 or €80 game, it has to be at least an 8. Maybe 7.5, but at least an 8. This game was an 8. It was like yesterday when I put out my first impression, I was like, this game is worth it for me now. At least it's worth for now. It's okay. It's okay. It's a pretty good game. But as I go on and play it, I was like, no, sorry, it's a sale game that you can play at least once or twice, right? Depending on like if you want to play it ever again on New Game Plus, which New Game Plus actually I think can be fun. Yeah, enemy rarity. Yeah, there's like literally you do the same thing all over. It just they're differently designed, but it's basically the same thing with enemies. There's some, but they're like you just press triangle when you get stuck. Like there's a guy that will attack you, not a guy, like a small insect will attack you, or like a weird big head will attack you from far away, and you just have to spam triangle to get out. You don't like, or you can like sometimes shoot them off, but they're not like combat enemies. It's like a mini game basically. Let's see. Okay, how is the story? Is it immersive? How's the world? Yeah, it's immersive in the big, like again, until chapter 5. Like I can't stress enough that I truly liked the game. I think it was a good game until chapter 6, and then after that was like, what happened? You know, like literally, what happened to the game? Like I truly don't understand. Rating is a 7. How's the story? It's the most basic story you can think of, but I don't think anyone plays this type of game for the story. Horror games, you know, like if that's a good story, that's like maybe Kojima can do it or someone, but horror games usually don't have, like, you don't remember the story per se as you do other things in a horror game, right? And to me, when I put that tweet out yesterday, I call it survival horror, right? It felt like survival horror in the beginning, but the more I played it, it was definitely not survival horror. So let me just get that straight off the way, right? It's definitely action horror, especially later on in play. It's doesn't become scary at all. What's the worst of the price tag? Nope. Wait for a sale, and also wait for a sale and try to play it before Dead Space Remake if you're gonna play it. If you're not gonna play it before Dead Space Remake, wait a long while, like maybe until next Christmas to play it. Like just wait a long while. Don't play it close to Dead Space Remake and Resident Evil 4 Remake, but especially Dead Space Remake. Those games will not collect good. But yeah, that's basically it. To summarize my like thoughts about the game, I'm happy I played it before Dead Space Remake, and I wish I maybe, like, here's the thing with me buying day one. If me buying it day one makes them make a sequel that's actually way better, that improves like all the major flaws about this game, I'm happy. If it never gets a sequel, then I do think it's gonna get a sequel. I hope it sells well enough over time to make a sequel that like they actually can make something very, very good, and not like. Imagine this game was like, okay, until chapter 6, the game is an 8. And then chapter 6, 7, and 8 are like, it's a 9, you know, maybe like better than 8, right? So it's like, if that was the case, I'll be very happy with this game. But it just goes downhill from chapter 6, right? Until like chapter 5, and then chapter 6 just goes down. But yeah, that's my thoughts. It's an okay game. Definitely disappointing to like what I have in mind, but yeah, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Comment below, subscribe, do all that, and goodbye.